In this episode, we will talk about how to handle a situation where a Filipina girlfriend or woman you are speaking to asks you for money. Dark Roast Dude says, I am 28 years old, male. Been talking to this girl, 25, female, online for about a year now, and have been friends much longer. We've talked over video call numerous times, and I've met her friends and family, and vice versa. I genuinely enjoy my time with her, and she's very sweet. As things have progressed, however, I have noticed more and more things about her that turn me off, especially in regards to financial responsibility, but also general clinginess. I've told her a few times now that until we meet in person, which as of now will be January 2026, that I do not consider her my girlfriend. And to my surprise, she doesn't understand why and even gets upset with me. Anyways, to put a long story short, her sister is an overseas worker in Japan and takes care of her family in terms of financials, while her daughter is at home in the Philippines getting raised by the girl I'm seeing. Her daughter got ill and told to be hospitalized recently, and they've since become delinquent on paying the bill back. Once again, to my surprise, she asked me for money to pay it. Not just some of it, but all of it. I'm confused for two reasons. She told me she got a loan, and why can't her sister pay for it? That's a discussion for a different time. But really, now I'm just concerned about she assumes I'm rich because I'm American, or that she just sees me as money pit. Either way, it's embarrassing and a huge red flag for me. I'm not like a lot of you guys, where you are retired and have disposable income, but even if I was, I doubt I would give her this money with it being only a year getting to know her. I haven't even met her in person yet. From my perspective, I kind of want to cut my losses and end it. I need advice on that, but I'm not expecting you guys to hold my hand and walk me through a quote, breakup, really. I just want to hear your thoughts and opinions, and if any of you guys have dealt with something similar, write it in the comments. Firstly, you are 28, talking to a 25-year-old in the Philippines, meaning you most likely don't have any idea about the scamming, the dating, and online tools and methods women use to get money from you. Obviously, she's a scammer, she's a liar, she sees you as an ATM machine. Why is it your responsibility to take care of a medical bill that belongs to the daughter of her sister? It makes no sense. What about her parents or her own husband, the woman in Japan, or the woman's Japan's employer, whatever? Why are you, a guy that's not even a boyfriend, 28 years old, going to give money for this? This is simply a way to get money from you. Oh, one more thing. That's not her OFW's daughter. That is her own daughter. She has a child. And that is not even a question in my mind. In it says, please block and move on. I've been immersed as a foreigner in the Philippines for 40 years. This average, quote, a real Filipino will go hungry before asking for money. She thinks you're a millionaire. What's in your effing box says, I'm not an expat, but I am a Filipino woman, living in a dorm with other working ladies. There are a few among us with expats as foreigners as boyfriends. While some genuinely love their partners, there are 2 or 3 girls here whom I can tell by how they talk to their expat boyfriends. We share one communal living room, so you tend to overhear that they are just in it for the money, and they go through foreigners so fast it's like changing clothes. Your girlfriend sounds like one of those girls, and I guarantee you, if you break it off now, she'll have you replaced within a week or two with someone who's dumb enough to settle the bill for her. Please don't be dumb. Imagine a real Filipina woman tells you the truth, and that's just within her own room. 2 or 3 people's scamming dumb foreigners. What does that tell you about the scale of their operations online? Do not trust any Filipina you are speaking to unless you are living with her full time. Even then, I would be suspicious. Snarktastic says, we are total strangers, but please hear what I'm telling you. Get out now and cut your losses. I speak from my experience. I am one of those, quote, older guys with disposable income, who admittedly and stupidly sent money multiple times to Filipinas that I chatted with in different times to quote, help them. After speaking with many more, I realized that the stories are always the same and they never stop asking. If you send, it only makes them want even more. After literally speaking to, no exaggeration, probably 50 or more Filipinas, I finally found one that I can speak with daily for over a year, has never once asked for money, has a job in a call center, and looking forward to meeting in the new year. It's very easy to fall for their sob stories because most of them are so damn attractive. And if you are kind-hearted, you want to make them happy. But trust me, it's not worth it. A friend of mine who moved to the Philippines advised me that any respectable Filipina who is seriously interested will not ask you for money. And he was completely correct. Sad to see a man being played like this. I suppose it's brave of him to admit it, but this man is not alone. There are tens of thousands of men sending money to women they never met or intend on meeting because they're simply too desperate, too weak, or simply don't know any better or want to know. They simply want companionship, so they pay a couple $100s a month for a supposed girlfriend who is also talking to multiple other men. KV says, unfortunately, this would have happened sooner or later anyway. Well, other commenters were right about that, but I would like to draw your attention to the overall context. Look, you write that she has a sister who works as an OFW and supports the whole family. Do you think that's normal? Filipino families get used to depending on someone else. A crowd of people sit around in the Philippines doing nothing, while one member of the family lives alone abroad, doing a job that is not the most pleasant. Their job are usually one of the ones that are unpleasant for the locals, but constantly sends money home, or rather than saving it for herself or investing in her own life. They all get used to milking money out of someone else. Rich Americans, and they consider all Americans to be rich, also fit perfectly into this category. An excellent point. Look at the broader picture. Do you want to be with someone who sits around expecting money from others? Organic says, I chatted up a few Filipinas for months before picking the right one. If they ask for money, it is an instant red flag and time to drop them. You haven't even met. You are chat buddies until you actually meet. She has a sister working in Japan who will pay for whatever needs the family needs, but even she doesn't. Never send them money before meeting and determining if things will work out in real life in long time. You should still visit in January. It is easy enough to find 10 more other to meet up with. Ask me for money would be the very, very last thing my Filipina would ever do. She works, makes her own money. She has her own family who all support each other. Time to cut your losses. Fun says, 2 things you can do here. Set a clear boundary. No, I'm not paying bills for your family. Or suggested cut your losses. Essentially, these are people's suggestions and thoughts. Number 1 rule about the Philippines, do not believe a word anyone says. Number 2, never send money. You can switch those around if you want, but number 2 by now should be extremely obvious. Do not send money to any of these women. They will simply ask for more. There's a never-ending story that will keep happening, constantly asking for money, and just simply stop. Lastly, you are 28 years old, perhaps at the prime to be dating someone. Why not select someone that is not in a situation that needs you financially? If you think this is an emergency, you are incorrect. You admitted yourself that she has one sister that supports the whole family. So obviously, this is not going to be the end of her financial needs. Men need to start making better decisions initially when speaking to some of these women. Pick them wisely. Do not settle for the easiest person. Set some boundaries and always double check everything they tell you. Do not believe them because they are manipulators and professional liars. They do this for a living. This is how most families come together and scam a foreigner because they know that most men coming from the West want to be with Asian women because they think they are traditional, but they are not. They're all the same, all wanting money. The best comment from yesterday is from Trixie. Of course, you would be blown away by the quality of everything in other Southeast Asian country nations, since there is nothing of actual quality in the Philippines. The only positive of ever living in the Philippines is that you will appreciate nearly everywhere else even more as a result. You don't live in the Philippines, you do time here. Money doesn't give you immunity here like it can elsewhere. You do your time like everyone else until you make the great decision to leave. That is about why people don't return as tourists to the Philippines. The worst comment is from US of 1. Please leave the Philippines. You driving prices high, thank you. I'm sure you left your own country because you could not afford to live there and did not save enough for retirement. So don't badmouth any country just because you made bad choices and neglect to save for your future. You should be grateful these countries allowed you to reside there. I heard others talk bad about other countries than the Philippines. You have to understand, not everyone here is retired. Also, the video was about why don't tourists return to the Philippines. It had nothing to do with age, money, or retirement. The fact that you can't even listen properly tells me everything I need to know about you as an individual. Furthermore, this is the same country that begs tourists to come back and try their food or pays Michelin star to do a tour in their country, and the same people that have the corrupt government, so on and so forth. Believe me, nobody wants to be here. Either they have family, wives, cannot leave, signed a long-term contract, or were duped to believing the Philippines is some kind of paradise. They simply do not know better or made a mistake they can't simply walk away from. If men had the option, nobody would actually choose the Philippines. Subscribe to the channel to learn and understand the facts and truths about the Philippines. Thanks for listening.